I'll just come back to you, Mr. Bedi. Let me go straight across to WION's correspondent, Archit Seshadri, who's been tracking the minute-by-minute developments being stationed on ground in Washington, D.C. Hi, Archit. First of all, as I was just discussing with Mr. Bedi, as we've been continuously tracking the developments coming in from Washington, D.C., the kind of defense ties between the two countries and to what extent this particular visit will actually impact those. You've been speaking to experts on ground there as well. What happens when India's Make in India meets Trump's America First?
Yeah, absolutely, Molly. I think that is one of the $1 million questions. Certainly the defense talks are going to be on the agenda when Trump and Modi meet in a short while. It's a little bit after 10:30 here in the morning in Washington, D.C. and inside here behind the Willard Intercontinental Hotel in downtown D.C. That is where Prime Minister Modi is meeting with some of the members of the White House, including the Secretary of Defense, James Mattis, as well as the Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson. In a short while, he'll head over to the White House, which is right behind me over there. That is the back fence where he'll get a chance to talk to the man himself, President Donald Trump. They'll meet for about 20 to 30 minutes, strategic talks between the two world leaders. And of course, those conversations are going to be crucial on how to set the agenda forward between India and the United States. After which, in the afternoon, around 3 o'clock, so about 4 to 5 hours from now, there will be a cocktail reception hosted by Vice President Mike Pence. And then later on in the evening, there will be a working dinner, the first working dinner with an international leader at the White House, hosted by Donald Trump and, of course, Narendra Modi. In the evening, he'll wrap up and then head over to Amsterdam. So this is the second day, the final day, the most important day of Prime Minister Modi's visit here in the United States. His first time meeting Donald Trump face-to-face. Quite a bit on the agenda, but in terms of the time limit that we're given, we're not sure how much specifics they're going to be able to get into. But yes, certainly the drone talks with the defense partnership between India and U.S., certainly a key talking point, as well as trade negotiations and, of course, terrorism. Some of the most likely discussions up for grabs. We're not sure if they're going to get to H-1B visas or not just yet, but certainly a laundry list of things to address between Modi and Trump.
Yes, H-1B visa also, as we've been continuously speaking to experts here as well, Archit, talking about how that is perhaps a point which the Prime Minister should bring up. But of course, a lot remains to be seen whether or not that will be a point on the agenda at all. Also, Archit, speaking to you specifically about the mood on ground so far and also in the run-up to this visit, the optics that have been extremely significant. First of all, with that personal warmth that the President has extended through that working dinner invitation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can certainly read a lot into that. The fact that Prime Minister Modi was invited personally by Donald Trump speaks volumes. In fact, just this weekend, President Donald Trump took to Twitter. He tweeted out saying he looks forward to hosting Modi, a true friend. I mean, that certainly speaks volumes about the relationship that the United States sees in India, a key ally in Asia. What also is interesting, the similarities between both leaders. Both are social media enthusiasts. Modi with about 31 million Twitter followers, Trump with 33 million or so. They're both strong personalities, strong leaders, have a very business acumen. So lots of similarities when it comes to that. The Make in India campaign versus Make America Great campaign. Many of the people that we've spoken to here, the Indian American community, they have a lot of things that is on their mind. They want to talk about race relations. They've said they've noticed an increase in hate crimes and violence against the immigrant and minority communities. So they want those dialogues to start between Modi and Trump. Going back to Srinivas Kuchibhotla, the man who was shot and killed in Kansas a few months back, the Trump administration took almost a week before coming out and denouncing that. So they really want a strong message from the White House. We spoke to members of the Hindu American Foundation who are pushing for legislation to keep Indians safe here in the United States. So race relations, a hot button issue. Certainly the topic of jobs and H-1B visas, given the trepidation that many workers from India come here, skilled laborers who come here in the field of IT. So that is also another crucial talking point that could be discussed. Certainly trade between the two countries, as well as improving defense partnership, buying drones for India's Army and Navy. So these are some of the likely areas that the two will touch upon. But more than likely, this talk will be a starting point between Modi and Trump over the next 4 years to have those conversations about how to build and strengthen those relationships between India and the United States.